Hello, my name is Fluffy Corinth, and I'm going to share 5 different assistive technologies with you. I'll explain how each of them work, and also explain why I think they'd be beneficial to students in the classroom. I will also explain how these tools will be beneficial to students with special needs in particular. Okay, so the first tool I want to discuss and brag on is the free graphing calculator that can be found at graphcalc.com. Basically, the website offers one of those big, bulky, expensive graphing calculators in a format that is downloadable to your computer. This program is designed for Windows users, but since that's what's generally used in the classroom and by most people, it shouldn't pose too much of a problem. This tool not only performs very difficult and intricate computations, it also has a feature that shows the graphed equation in a 3-dimensional view. For learners who need to see things visually, this feature is perfect. It also has color-changing options, which make the information more visually stimulating and also provides clarity to the different functions. In order for students with learning disabilities to learn well, sometimes they need information presented in a few different ways. By showing these learners how the equations look on a graph, hopefully this would help them to have an in-depth understanding of the equations and also help them to understand why they're learning about them to begin with. I would consider this tool a reinforcer to the learning process. So, we've all heard of cue cards or flashcards and probably used them to study or memorize information. Well, the next assistive technology I want to present to you is the free electronic cue card program. This program comes back to the idea that children with learning disabilities sometimes need extra exposure to information, and they also need to be exposed to that information in a variety of different ways. The cue card program is a flashcard program for the computer. It has a variety of functions to aid in the learning process. The use of the program itself is giving the student more exposure to the information. However, this program allows for audio import, which can help present the information in the form of a different type of stimulus. This feature would meet the needs of learners who respond well to auditory stimulus. This program also allows for graphic upload too, so graphics can be uploaded to be placed on each flashcard. Some students learn well when they can visualize information or tie an idea to a picture. This feature would meet the needs of learners who respond better to visual stimulus. Imagine what a great study tool this could be when using the different features combined. Very nice! Okay, so the next assistive technology I'll present to you is my favorite, in that I think I have found a tool that I will use myself as a student. It's called the Awesome Highlighter, and boy is it awesome! The highlighter feature is used to highlight text on a web page, and once the important stuff is highlighted, you save the page as a new URL so that you now possess a link of the page. The new link still has all of the original information, but what you've chosen to highlight appears highlighted. Neat, huh? I think this feature would be a handy tool for someone with poor organizational skills, or for someone who has a hard time staying on task, or even compiling information. I could see this tool better serving older students in their attempts to compile information from many sources for some type of, let's say, research project. This tool would help the student to weed out all unnecessary information and help them focus on the important things. Also, another way in which this tool would be beneficial to students that I think worthy of mention is how it can be used for communication between teachers and students, or even parents. For example, if a teacher finds a website that has resources or any other information that he or she wishes to share with the student, it would be helpful for the teacher to highlight the specific information she wants to share. and and she could simply send the link in an email saying, "Follow this link and check out the highlighted areas." This would help the student by helping them to stay on track and not become overwhelmed by the contents of the entire web page. They would know exactly where to go with the guiding of the highlighted information. I will now discuss a tool called Prezi. Prezi is a presentation tool that helps you explain, elaborate, and focus your presentation in an effective, organized, and visually pleasant way. Prezi has been known as a Zooming presentation editor. Prezi, unlike the sometimes overused and abused PowerPoint, does not use slides. Prezi allows the user to present the information in a much more flowing manner. The information can be presented in the same way the user thinks. PowerPoint uses slides and can make the information seem choppy in presentation. Prezi allows you to do things like zoom in, zoom out, and is very effective in relaying information. I think this presentation tool would be beneficial to students because the way in which information is presented is much more representative of how the human mind actually thinks. This tool makes information organized, yet leaves room for mental and expressive creativity. Creativity should be fostered and encouraged in all students. I think Prezi could be used by the student to present their information, or the teacher could even use this tool for her presentations, to tailor his or her presentation to her audience, the students. If teachers present their information in a more intriguing, realistic way, information will be relayed more effectively. So, one thing I find really important is the fact that we need to remember that students don't think like robots. They think in a much more creative way, so that's how information should be presented to them. Go Prezi! And last, but certainly not least, I would like to discuss a tool that is vital to many learners, concept maps. I chose to discuss the tool located at mywebspiration.com because I feel like it's one of the most organized, helpful, concept-mapped websites I've found. They have an About section that explains why we need concept maps. If our students read this, maybe it will help them better understand that we have good intentions with these tools, and it will reiterate that we want what's best for their learning experience. There's also many different examples that can show the student how they're not limited to one design. By the way, the designs are very attractive and colorful. This is important for our visual learners. Also, there's a link for tips and tricks, so the student has access to helpful hints while compiling their concept map. I think this is just great because it's input and advice from another source other than the teacher and sets students up for becoming more independent researchers. But enough about the website. Now I'll talk about why concept maps are so important. In our classrooms, we're going to encounter all types of learners, but most of them will need aid in organizing their thoughts. Thanks to concept maps, we have the power to do so. Concept maps' main goal is to transform a student's ideas and information into knowledge. Isn't that our main goal as educators? In conclusion, I would like to point out that the tools discussed have so many benefits for the learning process while still being discreet. The use of the tools doesn't make the users stick out. To be even more discreet about why particular children are using these tools, the teacher could easily make the tools an option for all of his or her students, while making sure those special needs students really use them. Thank you for your time.